I'm gonna start by fessing up. I've never played a racing game on PC. I've played plenty of racing games on various consoles through the years, but never had I tried a racing game on PC before Grid, so take that for whatever it's worth. Codemasters has a long and illustrious history as a developer of racing games with the Colin McRae series and the TOCA series. Grid is officially the fourth game in the Race Driver series, but it's quite a departure from the TOCA games. Grid is a simulation/arcade hybrid with a strong focus on the action and the intensity of the race, and on the cars and their interactions. The main event and the game mode you'll spend most of your time playing is the Grid World Career mode. You'll begin by creating a profile where you can select your name, nationality and some other features. Britons will have the pleasure of earning pounds sterling, while it seems like everyone else just earns dollars. I didn't try every single nationality, but it certainly seems like the only concession was made for the Brits, which makes sense given that Codemasters is a British company. After creating your driver, you'll drive a preliminary race to earn your rookie license and then go on to compete in a few races for other teams to get some cash flowing. Once you have enough money, you can get your first car and set up your own team, with the ultimate goal of becoming the richest team and the most respected driver. You can select your own team name and colours, as well as assigning sponsors and eventually hiring a co-driver who drives in all the same races as you and helps your team earn more money. Sponsors also help you earn money. Each sponsor has its own standards you must meet in order to receive their cash. These are usually finish the race in a certain position or finish the race without damaging your car, so that kind of thing. You'll start with sponsorship deals from tiny companies you've probably never heard of, who offer you barely $1,000 a race, but as your team's prestige grows, you'll find you're being offered more lucrative deals with much larger payouts from much bigger companies. There's extensive use of real-world companies in the game. As well as your own sponsors, other cars and the tracks are covered with billboards and banners for companies, and eBay features prominently as you can buy and sell cars through eBay Motors. A lot of people have a problem with product placement in games, but all I can really say is that it's very contextually appropriate in Grid, and it's very authentic. Some may find it a little gratuitous, but I'd just say that it adds to the flavour. I'd far rather see a banner for AMD than some fictional parody like AMC, or just an empty banner. It adds to the realism which, regardless of the developer's actual motives, doesn't hurt the game. But cash is a secondary issue for the most part, and you'll probably not bother keeping your eye on it. Your reputation is what really matters. Winning races and competitions improves your reputation, and by improving your reputation you gain access to higher tiers of racing. What this means is that advancement is non-linear and you don't have to pass particular tests or win particular competitions in order to advance. You can really sort of tailor your experience to your own preferences. To an extent, at least, reputation is split down into 4 categories: American, European, Japanese and global. Only by competing in races in a particular theatre will reputation for that theatre be earned, with the exception of global, which is your total cumulative reputation. The 3 racing theatres are each radically different. America is all about big muscle cars racing through city streets, while Europe is far more focused on touring cars racing on prestigious circuits like Donington and Le Mans, while Japan features unique styles of racing, such as intense head-to-head 2-gear events and competitions based around drifting. By amassing enough global reputation, you can enter international events, which are the real creme de la creme of the racing world. By winning enough events, you can reach your goal of becoming the most respected driver. Whether using a keyboard, controller or wheel, you'll find Grid's controls are fluid and forgiving. You'll be able to perform some amazing handbrake turns with little effort, and you won't have to worry about spinning out on every corner without first reading a giant manual of racing techniques, and then spending a dozen hours perfecting your turns. All you really need to learn is the tracks. Everything else is simple. But that's not to say the game is easy. The competition is extremely steep in the high-end races, even on normal difficulty. You need to drive consistently perfect laps to win, meaning the game has a very solid lifespan. As well as forgiving controls, the game features no car upgrade system. Instead you just sell your old car and buy new ones. While this focus on simplification may make Grid a little too arcadey for serious race fans, its point is to keep you firmly focused on the race and to keep you in the zone. As you tear around each track, your only thoughts will be about winning. Although there is naturally a racing line on each track, your rival drivers don't blindly follow it like mindless bots. Each driver has a personality based on a variety of statistics like aggression and awareness, and these statistics determine how they drive. You'll see drivers take risks attempting dangerous overtakes, while some other drivers won't be quite as ambitious. You'll often see drivers make mistakes and spin out, which could lead to pile-ups and some absolutely spectacular crashes. Because drivers do make mistakes, you'll find that every race is a very dynamic experience, and you'll find yourself miraculously winning races where you've already resigned yourself to second place, simply because the race leader messed up a tricky corner and smashed into a wall. I actually managed to win a competition I thought I had absolutely no chance of winning, because the race and competition leader and his second place teammate both wrote their cars off by colliding with each other, meaning neither one of them finished the race and so earned no points, allowing me to take a closer victory and win the competition. As spectacular as the crashes are, the car damage model is even more impressive. Paint scratches off during scrapes, and the force of impacts crumples metal and explodes windows. Especially violent crashes can tear parts off your car, and during aggressive races you'll find car parts littering the tracks. The damage model is so well developed that the first thing you'll probably think is that it would be perfect for a Destruction Derby. Thankfully, Codemasters thought the same thing. It's not a very prominent feature, but there is a stock car racing event, and it's cool to see that it made it in. Visually, the game is absolutely spectacular. There's excellent use of lighting and shadows, and the American tracks all look especially amazing thanks to the way the bright sun bathes the tracks in light while the tall buildings cast shadows all over the tracks. The crowds also look spectacular. They're fluidly animated and withstand close scrutiny. They're high quality and you'll be hard pressed to spot any clones. You'll hear both cheers and jeers from the crowd, as well as gasps of shock during crashes, and screams of panic when cars collide with barriers close to them. The crowd is a very active and organic part of the race environment, but the cars are naturally the stars of the show, and they look absolutely amazing, and there's no way they look better than in the replays. The replays feature an awesome cinematic style camera where you can get a great look at your car as well as your driving. The replays feature very appropriate up-tempo music that's pretty repetitive, but it sounds great and it is a pleasure to listen to. The sounds as a whole are generally high quality, from the guttural roars of the engines to the screeching scream of rubber on asphalt. But there are a few discrepancies here and there. The transition from outdoor sound to indoor sound and vice versa as you move into and out of tunnels is very awkward, and for some reason the game won't let me enable hardware sound acceleration. There are lots of cool little touches that add to the general polish. During load screens, the game offers you statistics on your racing performance, and you can select an audio name and characters in the game will address you with that name.
Hello, Stephen. Your car is ready
These
and
thoughtful
waiting.
little additions all really add a lot to the character of Grid. Although you'll probably spend most of your time playing the career mode, you can also play single races where you can tinker with a variety of settings like race type, venue and car types to race anything you like. There's also online multiplayer for up to 12 players. Navigating the lobbies is simple enough and you can play private or public games either ranked or unranked. If you play ranked games, you earn experience points for competing in races which subsequently award you new ranks. The most striking thing about Grid is that it's a complete racing package. There's a huge number of tracks, cars, race styles and features. From 2-gear to stock car racing to Formula 3, there's just about every form of 4-wheel on-road racing imaginable. While the game probably won't appeal too much to more serious race fans, thanks to its pseudo-arcadey nature, Grid is an excellent entry-level racing game for those who don't take racing too seriously, or for those who just want a high-speed, high-action racing game. It's absolutely perfect for anyone who wants to get into racing, but doesn't know it yet.